And welcome back. We're round 5, game 3 here. I don't believe there's been any changes to the sideboarding, or not that we've seen anyway. And no mulligans here either, which is great. I must admit I had a double mulligan earlier in the day, and so I was down to 5 cards. That hurt a lot. And consequently didn't go on to win that particular game against Blue-White Heroic.
Yeah, that's probably not where you want to be with Green-Black Constellation in a lot of matches. Going to 5 is generally rough, especially against Blue-White Heroic.
Yeah.
But Eidolon Blossoms is good, right?
Yeah, look, I love Eidolon Blossoms. I'm an Enchantress player from way back in Saga days. Eidolon Blossoms is actually probably the worst Enchantress version that they've printed, but it allows me to play a little bit of combo.
Yeah, come on, like you gotta give it to it. It's got a whole deck built around it. It's got a name for it and everything.
That's it. Come on, Wizards, reprint Argothian. That's what I want.
Let's stay away from all shenanigans that Dave enjoys. Okay, it's probably bad.
And you can reprint Stone Rain while you're at it.
Yeah, you can do that. I'm one for Ponza.
That's it.
I'm quite a fan of this. It's like Innistrad Days, Avacyn Restored, getting Resto Angels with Silver and Primordials, and
would Mastercore even get a game these days if they reprinted the original Mastercore?
Probably, maybe. Well, like
4/4 for 4. You've got to discard a card every turn.
I was like the day before I came to this event, I was playing against my housemate who was on Blue-Red Twin. And I managed to beat him 2-1 with the Mardu list that I took. So, anything can happen. You can get really lucky. But back to the game. We got Mulchi on a Death Dealer. Casey won the last one. Mulchi won the last one.
What can we see in Casey's hand? We see a Charm, a Wingmate Rock.
More rocks. Not sure about the other ones. I think it was a Downfall.
Going 19, finding himself a forest or a plains, probably a plains.
Probably Unoffensive. Like you would think that he would be going for Unoffensive, unless he just shock snaps a Corsair and that'd be great.
Unoffensive versus Mastercore, who wins?
No, I think Unoffensive is pretty good these days.
Come on,
I think Unoffensive is pretty good. I just want to see Corsair. Like I don't think anybody's ever said that before, but like, come on, guys. Corsair's a good card.
Corsair is a great card.
Unoffensive is too aggressive. Let's get that off the table.
That's it.
Bring back, maybe not Hornet Queen. Like we don't want to see that. We might see it later, but we don't want to see it now.
I'm a big fan of Hornet Queen.
I had my time in sun with it.
I love the bees.
Yeah, well, the noise expects the bees. Gets that.
Taking a point from the caves, and we're just going to downfall it. We're just going, no, I've had enough of this. Those guys took me out last game.
I suppose it's very hard to allow your opponent to untap with a Death Dealer.
Yeah.
I respect the play.
I think it's very rare that you actually see the Death Dealer get pumped.
It's the threat.
It's quite potentially the card that could get dropped for something from Fate Reforged.
Yeah.
Out of the deck list.
What do you have anything in mind?
I don't have anything particular in mind. It just the threat is there, but in all the games that we've sort of seen today, I don't think we've seen one that's actually been pumped up using the Death Dealer's own ability.
What about, say, Death Dealer versus Fleeceman line in these lists? What do you think? Do you think Death Dealer has more of a home in the ways of...
I think so. I think so, but only because of all the exile cards.
Sure.
It's the fact that the Fleeceman line becomes indestructible with all the cards that are around that exiles rather than sends it to the graveyard.
Okay.
Doesn't really hurt so much.
Okay, sure.
And in this particular matchup, Death Dealer survives Glare of Heresy, where Fleeceman line...
absolutely, okay.
Oh, pre-Monstrous, of course.
Yeah, well, I'm getting to that stage.
Alright, so we've got Casey quickly onto 5 land here. Back to the match, 16 versus 20. I'm pretty sure Casey's got a Siege Rhino in hand.
I think you get a pair of Wingmate Rocks as well. The birds. Not the bees, just the birds.
The birds with the bees.
You don't want the birds and the bees. That's not That's not where we're going, ladies and gentlemen. That's totally...
If you want the birds and the bees, switch over to a different channel.
I hope nobody's running birds. Actually, an offender. Okay, we're both wrong. The birds and the bees is an actual deck, because, like, Abzan Reanimator plays Wingmate Rock and it plays One Queen, so, you know, you get some...
Maybe that could be a new nickname for it.
I don't want it.
Asban Reanimator is now called the Birds and the Bees.
Okay, you heard it. So you heard it here. You heard it here. Like Mulchi ponders his hand.
He's got an Elsbeth in there, a Glare, 2 Rhinos, a Wingmate Rock, and I'm going to call the last one a Fleecemate Lion.
It looks like a Fleecemate Lion. I thought they were actually Sandstep Citadels, but
although dare I say,
Rhinos, it sounds like,
or it might be actually an Abzan Charm.
Very well could be.
Dare I say though, he wants a land.
Yeah.
So can he actually cast a Siegemate Rhino?
Siegemate Rhino.
Siegemate Rhino.
Jesus, now we're getting ahead of ourselves.
I've just birthed a card.
He can definitely cast Siege Rhino here. Whether he wants to? It wasn't Abzan Charm.
A Siegemate Rhino is a Siege Rhino that can become monstrous and indestructible.
Okay, good one. Well done. Clap, clap. Yep, you got it. Good one.
Shut up.
And back to the game. Another land drop. Okay,
alright, so he lost his Anafenza to the Charm.
Here we go. We got a Wingmate Rock. Black card. Probably Murderous card or Downfall.
I'm going to go with Murderous card.
Yeah.
I just can't make out the middle one.
It looks... I'm not actually sure. Well, there's a lonely rock. He's all alone.
I think that middle card is a land.
It looks like a Citadel.
Unfortunately.
Lonely rock. He's not a bro.
He still comes out. He still gains a little bit of life when he attacks.
He's got no bro. He's broless, and that's bad.
And Luke is still stuck on 4 lands.
Yeah, but he's got all the answers. He's got all the cards, and as you see, just gets rid of the bird and just passes the turn back. In case he's looking for, there's a Siren off the top. That's a pretty good one. I think that is definitely a Murderous cut, but I think that wanted to be Elspeth. He wanted an Elspeth.
Well, Siren can certainly come out and make a vampire,
make a dude,
and have that board presence
automatically. That is one good thing about this matchup. Is in some matchups, Siren is really rough to try and come out at 4, neg 2, Crackling Doom decks, Lightning Strike decks. They really, it's like Jeskai Mardu. They can really cause a problem for Siren.
The Crackling Doom is really good against Siren because it kills the token and kills the Siren.
That's right. It's not so much a 2-for-1, but it's pretty sweet. Whereas in this list, you can just, like this matchup, I say, you can pretty much, especially in this board, you can just straight up cast Siren, make a dude, and have a Planeswalker. It's really, really good. We see Mulchi go for a Siege Runner. He did actually draw a Scryland there, which is probably what he wants, to be honest. He doesn't have the solid turn 5 play. Like, I'm pretty sure he has a Wingmate Rock in hand.
Well, obviously, as we've said before, Siege Rhino is great at the 4-drop, so the Temple doesn't hurt him at all.
That's right.
And I think he scryed to the bottom there. And here comes that Murderous Cut we were talking about earlier.
Down to 1 card in hand. And we're pretty sure it's a land. But the Siren's still there. The Vampire's still there. Or the 2/2 dice. Or the 2 dice. The Lewis's pet peeve dice.
Yes.
Surprised he's not cracked that other Windswept Heath before drawing, just to try and thin his deck out a little bit, find more threat.
Reduce the percentage of land there.
Yeah.
We've come in with 2 with the Vampire. Actually, 3 with the Vampire after the activation of Siren.
Gain 3 life. Tick up my Siren. Pass a turn. I mean, maybe... No, he'd definitely have to have a Plains or something in the list, so there's no reason why he shouldn't have cracked the Heath.
And I think that's another land. I think that's a Heath.
That is a Heath.
By Luke, which puts him into Elsbeth range if he really wants it.
Which is exactly where he wants to be, I think. 1 card in hand on your opponent. Knowing he plays Downfall, but...
Well, you can at least make 3 guys. Even if the Elsbeth gets Downfalled, you can attack with one of the guys to come out with the rock the turn after.
Yeah. He can also do a similar line where he can just kind of play Siege Rhino and say, like, I still have a threat and I can still attack you with the threat.
Yep.
Goes for the Elspeth, obviously. There's not too much to fear. Like, It's like
I think we're going to see the Mikey card again.
he pulled it out.
He did.
It's like
You need 3 Mikey cards, Luke. Not the 1, 3.
he can like downfall the Elspeth. He can attack the Elspeth and upzone charm his guy with the Siren trigger. Oh, he had the downfall. Okay. Oh, he's quick on that one.
Luke said, so using it on the token?
Yeah, okay.
No.
That sounds fine to me. Sure, why not? I think that was a Fleecemane Lion there for Casey, and things are looking pretty good. He's looking hot to trot. The Fleecemane Lion can go monstrous this turn too.
Straight away?
Yeah.
Would you do it now, being the fact that you've got no cards in hand and he's tapped out?
Tapped down, absolutely.
Rather than waiting for him to draw?
Yep, absolutely, 100%. There's no reason that he shouldn't. He's got nothing to fake, nothing to... All the information's on the table. He can't do anything. Where
if he does it now, he could Heroes Downfall in response.
Exactly. He does a bar. We know it's not in the main deck anymore, but that's not to say that it couldn't happen.
Yep.
It couldn't be a thing in Casey's mind.
So it's maybe a minor mistake on Casey's behalf.
Just not a mistake. Just maybe something that was missed.
Yep.
So to speak. It's the same thing as cracking the fetch earlier on, but.
Is it a Hero's Downfall in his hand?
Mulchi's hand. I feel like it could be. Pair of Siege Bros, a Wingmate Rock, and the third card there. It does look like a downfall. He only has access to 6 lands, so he can only do 1 spell this turn. So Siege Rhino doesn't really achieve too much. I suppose it blocks the Fleecemane Lion really well.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to do too much because he wants to hang back with that Hero's Downfall.
Yeah.
To respond to when he does monstrous.
That's true. Yeah, but he also might be wanting to clear the Siren. Maybe he's got a Wingmate Rock. Why does he? And a couple of tokens. Like, why does he care about the Fleecemane Lion that much? This will obviously tell us.
And that said, Glare of Heresy does exile.
That's correct.
So even if it, as we spoke earlier, even if it does monstrous, he can still...
No, you can't target it. It's hexproof.
Ah, it's hexproof.
Yeah,
yes.
it's hexproof. Yep. He can exile the Siren, but he can't target the Fleecemane.
Yep.
And it's also sorcery, so it's just not gonna do that trick. It's interesting. There's like a few good lines. Whether the correct line, he obviously needs to find the correct line. Luke's a very calculated player. Playing against him, you just watch.
Yep.
And it's the hand movement, the thinking, the thought process. It's very, very... You learn a lot. You learn a lot from him. So, and that's exactly what he's doing now. He's just breaking down what needs to be done, trying to find the right play.
The advantage he's got at this point in time is he knows all the information.
That's right.
There's no cards in hand for Casey.
Mm-hmm. So he goes after the Siren. Siren will... Casey will gain 4 life. The Wingmate will come down.
Now, did the Fleecemane Lion come out prior to attacking?
No, he did play the Fleecemane Lion and then +1, so it did have the life lead. I'm pretty sure.
So he might have forgotten to gain that life then?
Yeah. I may be incorrect, but I thought that I saw him play that then +1.
Casey's relatively experienced. We were talking about the experience of Luke, but Casey's relatively experienced as well. And it seems odd that he would have missed that.
Yeah, maybe I was incorrect in my...
Maybe it came down after combat.
But it's tough now. And like I said to in game 1, the relevance of Wingmate Rock, and this is where it is when it comes down to this grindy mid end game where you can cast all the spells and it's coming off the top. This is the gravy. This is the gravy of the Abzan deck. Like Elspeth is fine, but it eats that downfall. Wingmate Rock, he hangs around. He's a right pain because he's not really well removed and he's not really well answered.
Yep.
Other Wingmate Rocks don't answer it unless like obviously 2-for-1 blocks and stuff. And Fleecemane Lion doesn't really do too much here. I mean, obviously he can get in, but Luke's on 17 life. It's still a long game to go. It might end quickly, but one way or another, depends on. Did we get a look at what Casey drew?
No, I didn't see it. Is the premium play with the Sorin here to make a vampire?
I'm not sure.
And to take out the Sorin?
It's tough. it's a tough position to be in. The wingmate rock switches all the tempo.
Well, at least then you can double block one of the rocks.
The knob's uncharmed on the wingmate rock. Gets rid of it. One way or another, unfortunately, this Siren's going to go in the bin. Next attack, Casey has no cards. He's nothing he can do about 3 damage in the air.
So this is what I'm saying. If it's going to die anyway, let's get a vampire out of it.
Sure. He does have a vampire on the field, so if he technically made a second vampire, he can... Wait.
So that's
he plus 1. Yeah, sure. He plus 1 the guy, but
it's a 3/2 vampire.
Yeah, 3/2 against the 3/4. That's a really, really brave attack. Trading the vampire there, I don't know if I call that favourable. I mean, you can always attack with a Fleeceman Lion and offer the trade.
Well, maybe the thought there was it's probably going to die next turn. Let me get the life out of it now, rather than
maybe. But he loses a Sorin this way. Like, he just attacks into the Sorin. Even if he leaves his guy back, he can just keep the Sorin alive if he wants to on the backswing, still gain the life. And Sorin's still hanging around. Whereas, like, he gets in 3 life, that's fine. He gains his 3 life, he gets in with the Fleeceman Lion, but there's nothing to say that he can't get in with the Fleeceman Lion that turn, or at least offer the trade.
And there was that hero's downfall on the Fleeceman Lion that was not monstrous and hexproof and indestructible.
Yeah. So a few lines but misconstrued from Casey, and I feel like it's cost him. It's really hurt him here. Heavily behind on board now, back behind on cards. I'm not sure if that was a brick, but this is now a lot of pain. This is a lot of trouble.
So coming through for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And there's a Bile Blight. So he must have 3 Bile Blights because he took 2 out. So that answers our question from before. So 3 to 4 Bile Blights in the main. But still taking 5 points of damage. And here comes the Siege Rhino. We do know he has a second one as well. So he's
the Siege Rhino seem to come down at the worst possible times. Like, you've just taken like 5 damage, and the Siege Rhino comes down to make it 8 plus the massive body and trample of the Siege Rhino.
And this is just too little too late, unfortunately. Wingmate Rock off the top from Casey's it's not going to be able to do enough, I don't think. It can't. It can block the bird.
Well, it's times like this that you really miss Mutavault. You attack with
attack into the Siege Rhino, sure.
Well, you attack with the Mutavault, and then you get
trigger.
You get the trigger from the Wingmate Rock.
Yeah, okay. But we don't miss Mutavault that much. Maybe I do a little blue-white player with the Mutavaults and everything.
Well, I was a Mono Black Devotion player, so...
Yeah, cool. You're a good guy, aren't you? Sorry.
Yeah, I also played a Findy.
Yeah, okay, you're not a good guy.
Yeah, I suck.
Yeah, good on you.
So we're coming through with the Rhino and the Death Dealer into the Wingmate Rock. 16 all of its life totals.
Interesting no attack with the bird there. Maybe he wants to kill it. I suppose this just baits the death. Because if he gets the block there, he gets a safe block on the bird, and his Wingmate Rock lives. Sure.
And talking about no pumps earlier with the Death Dealer, we now see one.
There you go. Things are looking good as it comes in the Fleeceman line.
Certainly comes into play later in the game.
Absolutely. But that's also why it's good. Because if it dies on turn 2 because it has to, because you can't allow it to untap. You play a Death Dealer with 4, 5, 6 land open, you can't kill it. And there's the handshake. Luke takes it down 2 to 1.
On 12 life to 16, he realises you're going to get attacked for a lethal next turn.
That was well played by both. Luke just getting the lines correct there, and well played.
We'll be back for the next round as soon as you click the link.